to Going It Alone, A Year of Play. This is episode 8, can you believe it? Yikes, my first customer. And here's a reminder as to why I'm doing these videos. In one of my earlier videos, I shared how I attended a 2-day free course for people thinking about or just starting a business. And in it, we did an exercise on business forecasting. When will I have my first customer and when will I start earning? I said back in March that I would be happy if I had my first paying customer in July or August. This whole world was new to me and I didn't know what to expect, and I still wanted to apply a bit of pressure on myself but didn't want to create disappointment. That customer came in April, 2 months after I left my 9 to 5 job, and since then I've been generating steady business. It's still not enough to stop me doing my HR consultancy bits on the side, but I'm still happy nonetheless. I know I must get out there more and share what I do, and my ideal would be to run at least 2 LEGO sessions per week, but I am pleased with the progress made. And anyone who thinks everything falls into place overnight in the world of self-employment should subscribe to Gary Vaynerchuk's podcasts. He is good at providing the reality checks. I thought it would be useful to share my first customer experience with you all. I learned a lot from it, and here are some things that I found important for me. Number 1, you know your stuff, so put more effort into addressing the things that will create stress for you. 2, don't overanalyze your performance. 3, ask for feedback and testimonials. And 4, add at least 20% onto your prices, and then hold your ground. Don't underestimate the level of knowledge, experience, and value you can add to others. I have worked with many organisations who have people with the capability and knowledge to deliver some of what I do, but often they just don't have the time to do it justice. Also, external facilitators, rightly or wrongly, can land messages better with teams, and maybe it's because they're perceived to be more objective or whatever, I don't know. But you're being paid to solve a problem, so own it. For me and my first customer, I tried too hard to prove that I had all the knowledge and experience and found myself getting tongue-tied because I had over-rehearsed. It is not necessary, as the more relaxed I became, everything flowed. And I've done many sessions now, but I still get nervous about each one. And I think it's a good thing, it keeps me focused, but it's the things I focus on that cause me most stress, which is more important to me. And one is lateness and the other is not being organised. Now both of them go hand in hand, so I alleviate this fear by always getting to my venue early and managing the expectations surrounding setup time. So rather than necessarily focusing on do I have the knowledge and do I have the experience, because the fact that you're doing this means you absolutely do, maybe focus on the question, what could cause you concern and what can you do to mitigate it? So you do your thing, people seem to be happy, but on the drive, train, walk home, you start dissecting every aspect of your performance. On my first gig, it happened to be quite a warm day and the room we were in didn't have windows that could open. I was also wearing my trusty Lego jumper, which I'm wearing today, and I could feel myself sweating. On my drive home, I convinced myself that I must have been smelly. And it's a load of rubbish, but it's so easy to do, thinking these thoughts when you've got no real evidence to sort of back them up. But like after a school exam, where you were adamant you failed and you think back to each question and how you responded, try and think about what you can do to move past some of those things. For me, an early night did the trick initially, but as time has gone on, it's become less of an issue. But if it's something you can relate to, make sure you plan something nice and distracting after each client. And that leads me on to feedback. A lot of that angst is instantly alleviated when you ask for feedback. Now, I didn't do this initially, hence the overthinking. And reality is, unless what you do is disastrous, people will be generous in what they say. You may not get the repeat business though. The way I deliver my sessions ensure I get rich feedback whilst avoiding sort of happy sheets. Plus, because I send what I call a play debrief, it's usually a week after our time together, it's yet another opportunity to connect. I now also follow it 1 month after each workshop by sending a simple resource as a reminder and a catalyst to help continue the conversation or review what they have done so far. And the outcomes of a session must include, for me, moving to action, as it's not just a fun day out playing with Lego bricks. It's a further touch point for me, and that month gives the client time to really reflect on how valuable the intervention was. Also, don't be afraid to ask for testimonials. I'm getting better at this, but there must be easier ways out there for people to officially endorse me. I don't think there's a right or wrong way, but for my first customer, I did some social media posts, one saying, "Woohoo, here I come, I'm about to do a session," and another directly following the session. I think it's much more powerful for the client to do the talking. And when I reflected, it was almost like I was just doing it to tell the world that I had a customer. So for me, I didn't feel comfortable. It may work for some, but I don't really bother doing that anymore. And finally, my first client got good value. It's taken me a while to realise, yeah, I still have lots of learning to do surrounding valuing myself right. In my early conversations before getting my first client, I would share the cost and then immediately say, but I can discount this and I can discount that. I now stop talking when I share the indicative cost. Each session is bespoke in any case, so price does vary. But how many giveaways are you willing to do before you hit the sweet spot in terms of I've done enough business for others to see I'm credible and value adding? Price and selling is always a difficult topic for self-employed people. After all, I'm not doing what I do because I love selling. Quite the opposite. It's just I need to sell in order to do what I love. And a friend recommended a book to me, so I started a book club with another business owner friend of mine. The book is not the most joyous read, but I have to say I have benefited from it. It's called The New Strategic Selling by Robert Miller. Another worthwhile read is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, all about negotiation. If you're in this price quandary and doing something similar to me, then do reach out and I'll be happy to share my pricing with you. Learning the lessons from your first customer is key, but learning from each and every client after that is also critical. The government stats highlight that less than half of startups make it beyond 5 years. It's therefore got to be a continuous process to ensure improvement and delivering that value that we strive for. So as always, if you like what you see, please do share with others and subscribe. Thanks for watching and join me next time for Yikes, I Need Professional Help, where I will share my experience and reason for paying others to take the lead on some of the things associated with my business. Thank you.